Hey everyone, it's Pam and I'm here with my monthly update video telling you everything that I was up to in the month of August. I'm recording a little late this month. I had a very lazy, long weekend just previously. Starting off with podcasts as normal, there was only one episode of my podcast Media Mavens. If you haven't been listening along, Riley just moved to South Korea. She is teaching English there for a year, so that throws a bit of a wrench into our scheduling of things. We're both hoping that we can continue on with the podcast, recording maybe once a month rather than once every 2 weeks, but giving her time to get settled before we find out when we can return to the show. It's hopefully soon. It is hot in here today. I shouldn't film at this time when I'm facing west into the sun. So I actually have a bunch of pickups from this month. First of all, I actually missed something, I'm pretty sure, in last month's pickup video. So something I got last month was Space Channel 5 on PS2. I actually didn't know until fairly recently that this was available on PS2. I've always thought of it as a Dreamcast game, and it's always something that I've been interested in, but I have never been a Dreamcast collector or really even a Dreamcast player. So when I found out that this was on PS2, I wanted to grab a copy. It is like a rhythm game with this girl, ooh la la. And so I haven't played it yet, but it's in very nice condition. It's got the manual. It's got a special edition disc. I'm not exactly sure what's on that, but I'm looking forward to giving this one a shot. Next up, something that Will got me as a present earlier in the month is the Crash Bandicoot remaster. It's the N.Sane trilogy on Xbox One. I have been playing this quite a lot in August. I played through the first 2 games and I'm currently on the 3rd, although I haven't touched it in a little bit because I've been distracted by other things. I'm going to talk about this a little bit more in what I've been playing because I have some thoughts on the games. So next up, I went to the Barrie Game Exchange in August, which is run by Nintendo Hodge, and it's always a good time with lots of different tables and vendors and things to see. I was actually really happy this year, or this time, it's twice a year, because there was someone there with an entire table of PC big box games, and I almost never see PC big box. They're like the little smaller DVD cases or like some crappy titles like shoved under a table, but this guy had a whole table of them proudly displayed, which was very nice to see. So I picked up a couple things from him. The first Baldur's Gate. It's the DVD-ROM version. It's still got the plastic on it, but it is not sealed. So let's take a look at what's in here. We've got the DVD. We got... Games used to come with so much good stuff, and now they come with nothing. Just the little ad for the other RPGs, including Planescape Torment. Troubleshooting guide. The game manual, which is just so nice and thick. I love it. How many pages is this baby? 159, including room for notes. A very nice size game manual. I love these. And then there's the quick reference card, which is just your sort of spell lists and things like that. And a map, because everything is always better with a map. So here is the, the city map, and then the sort of overworld map. So I was very happy to find that, and I believe it was $20, which is a pretty good price, I think, for Baldur's Gate. Those ones are usually fairly sought after. And I also got Baldur's Gate 2, Shadows of and this one is sealed. Not in my house. So this is in excellent shape, obviously, since it was sealed. You open it up. Again, it shows all the Black Isle RPGs, which I love. Except for Icewind Dale, I never really got into that one. Let's look inside this box, this pristine box, which I'm ruining now. Let's see what's in here. So we've got the CDs. We've got a demo disc for Icewind Dale. an AOL free trial. What is this? A little ad for something called the London Dungeon in London, which looks like a little exhibit that's like a scary haunted house kind of thing, which is kind of cool. I don't know what this is. Again, there is a game manual. This one's not quite as hefty as the first one, but it's still quite long. Goes over all the spells, all the classes, things like that. We've got the quick reference card, same as the first, although not quite as sturdy material. And again, a map. So yeah, I'm pretty happy to have found these. I so rarely find PC Big Box in person, so I was excited. Even though I kind of only really wanted Baldur's Gate 2, I ended up going with the first one as well, just because it was there and I have played it. I just didn't quite like it as much as the second one. And then from that same table, I also got one strategy guide, which is for Arcanum of Steamwork and Magix Obscura, which is one of my favorite CRPGs. It's made by the same people who did Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, Troika games, and I'm still looking for the big box version of the game. I don't have it anymore, but I figured the strategy guide is a pretty good place to start, and I believe they gave this to me for free when I bought the other two boxes. Oh my god. Ugh. I got a few more things from some friends from the Cartridge Club. I picked up The Bard's Tale on PS2. This was from Buried on Mars. And I played this game, and it's a good game. It's not a great game, but it's a good game. Since the new Bard's Tale is going to be releasing fairly soon, I backed it on Kickstarter. I don't really recall the date. And they just did a remaster of the original Bard's Tale. I figured I may as well have this one sitting back on my shelf since it is a game I liked and enjoyed, and I may as well have the whole collection, even though the other ones are just digital. And then when I bought this, Kevin looked under his table and he found the Bard's Tale manual, which he threw in with the game, which was very nice of him. This is also sealed, although I'm going to leave this for now just because I know what I will find in here, so I'll just open it up if I need it. Also, from the table of another friend from the Cartridge Club, Joe, I got this Dragon Age 2 Special Collector's Edition official guide. Again, this is sealed. I am actually going to open up this one because I feel like there is artwork in here that I will want to look at. I don't remember exactly how much I paid for it, though. Joe always gives me bro pricing, so it was probably a really good deal. Just some Dragon Age gear on this thing. And then, so it's got the nice book here with like the Seeker Eye on it. And it's got, yeah, it does. It's got a bunch of sort of artwork and game history and things like that in it before it gets to the actual guide with all of the maps and things. And since Dragon Age 2 is my favorite Dragon Age, I thought this would be a good, nice hardcover book to have on my shelf. And lastly, this is a game I picked up on Super Nintendo not that long ago, though I think someone traded it in, it wasn't me. Eye of the Beholder, this is on Sega CD. It actually makes more sense for me to have this one because I don't collect for Super Nintendo, but I do collect for Sega CD. So this is the dungeon crawler. This is one of the ones that, as far as I know, has not been remastered or sold by, you know, GOG or Steam or anything. I'm pretty sure it's available on abandonware sites on PC, but I hear that the Sega CD version is pretty good, and I would like to take a look at this. I would kind of like to do a video at some point on the history of this kind of dungeon crawler from, you know, the earlier days of like the Wizardry to Eye of the Beholder and eventually Lands of Lore, which is one of my favorites. Yeah, so this is another one to add to the collection. It is so hot in here. So in terms of what I've been playing, there have been a few things. One of the ones that I reviewed just recently was Hero-U, Road to Redemption. As I mentioned in the video, that was a game I backed on Kickstarter quite a long time ago. It took 6 years for it to finally come out, and I was sorry, I have an ice pack stuck down the back of my shirt. That's what I'm fussing with. So I was pretty happy with the end product. They did a patch sort of a week or two after launch that really made the game great for me. At launch, it was like, it's a little slow, I don't really like walking around, but they increased the movement speed, and after that I liked it. It was just that blend of point-and-click adventure and role-playing game that I really liked. I have to admit, I wasn't super stoked about the Kickstarter campaign. I was very excited when it first came along because I love Quest for Glory, so I backed it just at the cost of the price of the game. I didn't do like one of the big things with physical rewards or anything. So I was excited at that point. And then I think a year later, they did a second Kickstarter to raise more money for it. And at that point I was like, no, now I fear for my original money, even though it wasn't honestly that big of a deal, the amount of money. But I felt like, I don't know, I didn't want to give a second time, since it seemed like that money wasn't managed that well the first time. So it seemed like there were a lot of sort of bumps in the road to that Kickstarter and getting the game off the ground. Again, I said I am happy with it. A couple things changed from the initial pitch to the game, which is fine. I think that's something that you have to expect. You can't make exactly the product you said you would 6 years ago. That's unreasonable, I think, to expect something like that. So though the wait was long, I was happy with that, and you should check out the review if you haven't seen it. And then the thing that I played the most was Crash Bandicoot Remastered. So I started the first game. I don't think I ever played Crash 1 sort of back in the day. I played a lot of Crash 2, but I started Crash 1, and I had heard when this first came out about how difficult the game was. So I played the first world, and I was like, oh, this isn't too hard. I'm, not having that much of a problem. And then as it went on, it got harder and harder, and the platforming got really fussy. It really came to a head at the Road to Nowhere level, which is one of the ones where you're going on a bridge and like slats are falling out and you're like jumping into the abyss all the time. That must have took me like 20 continues to get that level. That was very difficult. That's where I could tell like the platforming was super fussy. It's not super easy to judge distance when you're sort of headed into the screen. I did have a lot of trouble with that, although I did find the game a lot of fun overall, and of course unlimited continues and things like that makes it easier to go back to it. I also found out right after I finished Road to Nowhere, I googled it. I was like, am I just bad? Is this a really hard level? And so most people think it's really hard, and there is an exploit from the original game that is still in the remaster where you can jump on the like the rope handles on the bridges and just go across those rather than do the platforming in between them. So when I came to the second level like that, I was like, oh, I'll just cheat and, it'll be easy. But landing on those ropes, those tiny little ropes, was harder than just doing the level. Like, I swear, I did not save myself any time or effort or lives. I probably should have just done the level because cheating did not help me at all. Cheaters never prosper, apparently. So yeah, that was how that one went. And then I played through Crash 2, Cortex Strikes Back. That game is fantastic as always. It was a tiny bit easier than the first one, though still quite challenging at certain points. The only one place was at the final boss. I found that a lot easier than when I played it on PS1. Maybe because there was no platforming and it was more of like a race kind of level that I found it easier. And then I started 3, which also I haven't played before, but I'm only like, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 levels into that. But so far, I'm really happy. It looks great. I love the music and the sound effects and all of Crash's facial animations and death animations. Those are the things that kind of make that game really stand out. So I'm having a lot of fun with it, and I'm looking forward to the Spyro remaster that's coming out. I think got pushed back to November. So yeah, I'm digging these PS1 remasters because sometimes it's hard to go back to them. I think it's easier to go back to the original Crash than it is Spyro, because Spyro has that weird thing where your look are on R1, R2, L1, L2 rather than like using the stick for camera control. But yeah, bring on all the PS1 remasters. I will play them again. So that's it for this update video. Tell me in the comments what you were playing last month, if you have any notable pickups that you got or anything like that. That's it. I'm turning my air conditioning back on. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.